Hi, welcome to this video and welcome to Teach Star. In this video we're looking at handwriting as a teacher, and it's probably not the most interesting subject, but one that when I'm doing observations I notice very quickly. The point of writing up on the board, and this is where this video comes from, and in students' books, is to communicate what you're saying. And unfortunately, many teachers I've observed and seen have not had handwriting that has been compatible with understanding what the heck they're talking about. And the reason why I find this video interesting is in my first year, my handwriting was appalling. When I was doing my PGCE, every single observer would say, I still can't read some of it. And if you're a teacher trying to communicate stuff, that is really not a good place to be in. And yes, yes, I'm talking about stuff, but the point of writing on the board is to give students a reference for when they do their work. And if they can't use that reference, why am I bother writing on the board? Now, I would like to start by saying that the way I got around it was practicing behind the scenes, but mainly relying on PowerPoints and pre-written stuff in the early days. So I used to actually write really neatly on a PowerPoint and then scan it. I think I took a photo of it, put it on the PowerPoint itself, because I wasn't quite fast enough with writing neat enough in the early years. Now, my handwriting is not perfect even now, but it's a darn lot better than it used to be. And remember, we're not looking at beautiful handwriting, we're not doing a calligraphy class, but we are looking at legible handwriting. So what I've got my screen capture thing and an iPad to write on. So let's have a look at that. So this is how my handwriting is naturally. So we go, hello, I am here. And actually this iPad makes it look a lot better than it actually is. So that to me is fine, I don't care. And an iPad will always make it look a bit different. But you can see that it's a little bit all over the place. Now, the thing that I do now that I didn't used to before is break up the joined up handwriting. When I was at school, and I probably for most of you, and I think it still is, that handwriting needs to be joined up. That joined up handwriting is the future. Because it's quicker to do. It also, if your handwriting's messy, it makes it a lot harder for students to read it. So if I write that again and I just make it not joined up, and yeah, so like the H and the E in here, I just can't help but join them up, but I left a gap there because my R's probably to some people look absolutely fine, that's absolutely acceptable as an R, but to some people might look like a V. So I'm going to try that again. And the R and the E at the end are still joined, but that's a lot more legible than it was before. For instance, if I can get a different colour, which I think I can, so let's pick a red. So this bit here, the two L's, are a lot neater because I'm not joining them up, they don't kind of merge into each other, and it just leaves that little bit of space that you can identify what letter I'm kind of going for. The A and the M here, like this it looks a bit crazy because I'm so I'm just joining it all up. But here I did the A and the M separately, and yes, it looks like they're joined, but I did them separately so I could be a bit more careful. And here I separated them even more. I still got the R and the E together, but you know, if you join a few, then it's not the end of the world. And yeah, and I write taking my time. You know, if I write that really quickly again, so here I am here, or hello, I am here. It doesn't take long at all, but it's not as legible, rather than slower. Yeah, and I think that's a habit of joining the H and the E because I've not had an issue before with that, and I leave a space because I know that I've had an issue with people reading my R's before. As I said, they sometimes look like V's. So I leave a little bit of a space for them, and I didn't even notice until I've done that. I didn't even notice that I did that, but that must have been something I trained myself to do, because when I looked it back, I was like, I don't think you can read that and leave a bit of space. The thing I have an issue with is between this and this. Sixes and B's. My sixes and B's look identical, and so yeah, that's a tough one. But I always try and make the B like make the line straighter, and then kind of have a semicircle there at the bottom with a 6, and try and exacerbate the curve at the top. And I think it's just something you've just got to practice and practice and practice. But as a teacher, you need to be evaluating whether students can actually read your handwriting, and take it to a colleague. Take a picture of your board and take it to a colleague and ask them, can you read this? And if they're struggling, then as a professional, they're struggling, and they're a professional who's read all of their students' books that are probably quite a mixture of really neat handwriting and really awful handwriting. And if they're struggling, then that's kind of should set off alarm bells that maybe you need to do what I did and just sit down and practice and try and take your time a little bit. And I know as teachers we want to keep the pace up the whole time, but take a little bit more time. And maybe if you do join up handwriting, try and break it up. And you don't have to completely break it up, which evidently I don't, because I thought I did until I did that, and I was like, oh, actually I don't break everything up. I just break things up that I know that people have had an issue with before. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 5 o'clock in the evening. Thank you.